matches, but they shouldn't just be gimmicks and like a one-off and just, easily forgettable. They should become like a mainstay. We need something like that these days. It's been a long time since we've had something. The last big one I can think of is Elimination Chamber. That was like back 2002.
Yeah. Yeah, House of Horrors. I mean, oh my goodness, just the name. It's off-putting already. I don't know how. I've got this really sneaky suspicion, Matt, that they're gonna do like a whole haunted house type of theme, and they're gonna do that opening creaking of the door, and Randy's gonna walk in, and maybe they are gonna do some stupid overlapping music where it's like going to spook him out and Bray's going to come. I don't know. I just got this vision in my head, Matt. That's the way they're going to go, and it's going to be like watching a kind of half movie feel to all this. That's how it's kind of coming across. And by the way, just for everybody's information, the poll, the most rated thing that people wanted to see in that match, a chainsaw. So yeah, who knows what we're going to see in that? Maybe Chainsaw Charlie will come out. Terry Funk, you never know, to end that one. But yeah, Lord knows what we're going to see. I'm expecting a kind of like Saw kind of film kind of feel to this. I've got to be honest with you. But at this point, I don't have too much expectation. So whatever I'm about to see, I'll probably be able to deal with at this point, because it's very low, this match. Because even the wrestling itself at WrestleMania was pretty diabolical between these two. So yeah, we'll have to see. Other matches on the card, Matt, that I suppose worth mentioning is the Raw tag team titles are going to be on the line. You're going to have Matt and Jeff defending against Sheamus and Cesaro. Is this a 1 month kind of wonder just for the Hardys to come back with that nostalgic feel and Sheamus and Cesaro win, or do you think that they're going to leave it with the Hardys a little bit longer?
Yeah, I've got to imagine that the Hardys going to take this title a bit further, run with it a bit longer.
Sure.
As much as I do like Sheamus and Cesaro, and I do think that these days they are the more athletic, more exciting kind of team, because the Hardys are getting old now, and it does take them a bit longer to climb the turnbuckle, and it's not all as explosive as it used to be.
Sure.
Evidence of that was when he did the Whisper in the Wind on Raw, and commentary had to cover it up, going, "Oh, he modified it," and I was like, making it slower.
Yeah.
Was modified it? No. But anyway, yeah, I think they will keep him, and I think we will carry this on, and hopefully it will be part of the transition to the Broken kind of character, and then that will make those titles a lot more interesting, and I think it will make a lot more people want to tune in to see them when they're on the Hardys. So hopefully it don't take too long to get to that point, though, because there's not a lot of tag teams now left for them to fight, what with the Revival being injured, and not all the James Cesaro will be out of the picture, and I just think Enzo and Cass aren't long for the tag team kind of picture anyway. So hopefully, they can get the Broken Hardys back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that. What do you make of the women's match, Matt? Because I've got to say I've had a few emails in about this, and not the most pleasant ones. People not too happy, it seems, with the women's division on Raw, and especially after Raw last week, I got a flood of emails saying it was really disappointing. What do you think's going on at the moment with that, Matt? Is it just the case of that it's too much of a shuffle gone on and they've got to find themselves again, or is it, is the storylines not good? Bayley is a champion. Do people believe that enough? I mean, what is going on at the moment? Because you think with all what's been going on, it was all going well, but all of a sudden it's got very, very I don't know, the quality of it's almost gone a little bit. It's like they're sort of not doing a quality check anymore. What's your view on that, Matt?
Yeah, it's kind of a strange time now, especially now we've got the shuffle, and it's becoming apparent that some of the female wrestlers are more preferred by management than others. As we're seeing, like, Bliss has just been the top girl on SmackDown, and they came straight to Raw, and of course she's given the title shot straight away like that, and equally vice versa, Charlotte's gone to SmackDown and has become the top person of that instantaneously. It's almost like swapping roles. It's not really such a thing of opportunity now.
Sure.
When the Women's Revolution first kicked off, and we got Charlotte up, we got Sasha up, and we got Becky, and then it felt like everything was on an even level, and that it was anyone's taking, and it was all possible. But these days, it just feels like certain women aren't going to get the opportunities that others are. Instantly, like I think of like people like Nia Jax, that although she's made to look dominant, she's kept quite out of the way of the title scene, and anything that happens, even if she has got a title match, it's made abundantly clear that she will not be getting anywhere near, because she'll be the first one eliminated or taken out of the picture. And it just like that questions the realism sometimes, doesn't it? Because you think one-on-one, Bayley's supposed to be the champ, but when you think on a one-on-one match between her and Nia, the way that they're booked now, it would be a no contest and Nia would win.
That is how it is. Another match. Of course, we're gonna have some sort of WrestleMania rematches as well. We've got the US title match between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, and of course the stipulations that will happen if Jericho wins. The belt and all the rest of it will go. I've got to say, surely it's Kevin Owens winning that one, but I think it'll be a good match. I'm hoping that they're gonna have a good match, those two. Also, the cruiserweight match, I'm expecting a lot more from. I think after the WrestleMania match, this is the next stage, and Neville and Austin Aries match. I mean, are you expecting a little bit better, maybe a little bit longer for these guys at Payback, maybe?
After the first kind of one we got at WrestleMania, that's when I was expecting the fireworks to fly and then to really come together and pull off something special. But then they were given the first match, and it really didn't come together as well as I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
This time, I'm thinking, considering they've gone with it again and they've given Aries the opportunity to have a rematch at this, I'm thinking they must have more ideas and plans in their mind about where they can go in this match and get some better spots in that they didn't do before. Otherwise, it would be pointless doing it. They must believe themselves that they can pull this off. So that gives me kind of hope. So I'm hoping it will be something more entertaining than what we saw at WrestleMania. But I'm not too sure the result will be any different. I'm not too sure it does anything for Aries winning the title. I think perhaps Neville will hold on to it, because I don't see any reason in changing that when he's been, right now I would say he is the best heel that there is in the company right now.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that. Of course, Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins. I'm okay with this match on paper. I think it's going to be a good match, but the feud is so complicated. Like, I feel like I really don't know Seth Rollins, the character, enough. I said this at the back end of last week. I don't think WWE are doing a good enough job of their character developments, and this is a classic example of that. I feel like, if I, when you saw that match between him and Triple H, I know who the game is. But when I see Seth Rollins, I'm still like, they still haven't got him to the point where I know what drives this guy. I know what motivates this guy. And then last week, it really, I don't know if it was last week or the week before that, but it was really complicated as to why he doesn't like Joe. It was personal because it was, it was to do with Stephanie, and then it was like on Joe for getting involved. It was just really confusing. The whole segment that he'd done, and I don't know what it is about this guy, because I thought he was gonna, I thought this was gonna be his time, but it seems like a baby face. Maybe just Seth Rollins is just not as capable as I thought he would be as a babyface. Like, I think when he was a heel, I totally got the character. They were trying to do the cowardly thing, but with this, it seems like they just haven't done a very good job at explaining. And maybe it was because when Triple H turned on Seth and it took so long for us to get a flipping answer. Maybe that hasn't helped Seth in the long run either, because we really didn't know what the hell was going on with Seth Rollins. And of course, he'd gone against the authority, but he kind of was still in the middle ground, as if to say, well, is he there to cheer? I feel like fans are just cheering because they think they should be cheering, like he's going against the bad guys, so we should just cheer for him. But I don't think they're cheering because they really want to cheer for him, and I think there's a big difference in that. And I think Seth Rollins, the kind of guy he is, the kind of wrestler he is, it should be the other way round. We should be loving this guy a lot more. He should be able to go out there and produce 5-star matches, no doubt about it. But I just want to know more about him. And I think whoever's writing his stuff, they need to come up with better. Like, when he talks, it's so rubbish. I mean, I don't want to sound too harsh here, Matt, and I probably am coming across like that, but I feel like the latest WWE 2K game, when you have to, when I was around my friends, and you have to, by the way, you have to read the flipping writing when you do your promo. Whoever wrote those promos for that game is writing Seth Rollins' lines, because it sounded exactly like him, and the words and everything, the delivery. It's just so not. There's nothing in there that makes him any different from anyone else. Matt, am I being a bit harsh here, or play devil's advocate if you have to with this one? But Seth Rollins, for you as a guy to get behind, as far as we're going to be going to Raw soon. I know you're going there. Is he going to be a guy that you get up for and you're into this guy, or are you? Do you like him because you feel like you've got to cheer for him? Where do you sit with Seth Rollins currently?
No, I've got to agree. His face work isn't as good as his heel work, and I don't think we got a good idea of why he's suddenly turned face. It all just still seems rather selfish of him, even though they're saying he's a good guy. It was all just to get back at Triple H. If they hadn't forced his hand, he still would have been the same as he ever was. But yeah, I think he gave it a lot of respect during his heel run, didn't he? I mean, he was the top guy, and he did do a lot of the hard work, and he was there week in, week out, putting on great matches, and he did get a lot of fans that way. But it just feels like now he's turned face. A lot of those fans that he got when he was a heel are the only ones cheering for him. But they're probably cheering for him because they like him as a wrestler, but they're probably thinking, well, I don't really like his character now. I don't really like the way he's having to suck up to the fans and say he's doing it for them, when we got for years and years of him saying he didn't care about the fans. He did it all for himself. It's kind of really contradictory to his character. I really do like it when a wrestler kind of sticks by their character. I mean, I know we've had face Randy Orton and heel Randy Orton, but in that, I don't think he's ever really gone against his character that much. If they were going to make him into a good guy, he usually just didn't talk. They just usually cheered for him if depending on who he was fighting. And that's kind of what we're getting with Seth, though. They're just putting him against bad guys like Triple H and Joe, and then saying, that's how you know he's the good guy now, because he has to fight these people. But when he gets on the mic, like you said, not the best work. And, when you're going against people like Joe, you've got to carry that on the mic, because Joe probably isn't the best on the mic either.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Let's see. I think it'll be a good match, but it's not enough for me to get too excited about, because I just feel like I want more for what they're fighting for. In a way, I'll be glad when that's kind of all done, to be honest, and Seth can kind of go elsewhere with the character. I think, because it's got to be better. And of course, Matt. The big talking point, I suppose, is going to be Roman Reigns up against Braun Strowman. If I had it my way, Matt, I would have had Roman out for a bit longer, but I know in this modern age everything is fast paced, and already Roman was wrestling at the house shows, so okay, albeit he was bandaged up, but let's face it, if he's able to compete there, should have been on Raw, really, shouldn't he? I liked the idea that they kept him off screen. I just wish they'd do the full hog. What's happened to the days of protecting the business to that level? It seems like, no, if he's advertised for that live event, he's going to have to be there. Love nor money, he's got to go. And I just wish sometimes, like how it used to be when they really done a good job of protecting things, that they'd leave him off a little bit longer, because you kind of build it a little bit better. That match becomes more special, but nonetheless, they're going to have it already soon. I get the feeling, Matt, that if Roman comes out, of course he'll probably be wearing the bandage around him. That will probably give license for Braun to go over here, because that will be the leeway for Braun to win that match. And I'm sure if he does win that match, it's going to have to be through hook and crook, because Roman is the guy, of course, who has essentially retired The Undertaker. So they're going to protect him whatever the cost. But I do feel like Braun's going to be the guy for Brock next. I really do see him going that way. I think Roman Brock this early, I don't see it at all. I think there's much more build up, much more money to be made out of those two guys further down the line. Personally, I would like to see Roman and Brock at WrestleMania next year, but I get the feeling the way WWE moves, you could see it as early